I'll call three names. Would you please come up to the table? Oh, by the way, on LAC 1, there was a good cause statement that I neglected to read. This item was added to the agenda for good cause in order to expedite the salary settlement with the Classroom Teachers Association. And on P2, the job descriptions presented were separated and tabled from the job description item at the February 6, 2019 special meeting with a time certain date to come back for approval on February 20th, 2019. And with that said, I'll call the names of the non-agenda speakers. They are Carl Mohammed, Tracy Woodall, and Danielle Harbor. Would you please come up to the table and make sure you say your name and watch the clock? You each have 3 minutes to address the board.
Ready. Welcome again. Well, at least I want to say happy Black History Month to those of you who might be aware of the fact that during this month we take the opportunity to try to retrieve some of the knowledge that has been kept away from us since our fathers set the soles of their feet here in the Western Hemisphere. And with you having some of the knowledge of some of the things that are needed, such as Florida Statute 1003.428 and the injury of miseducation, I was just curious as whether or not this year, 2018 and 19, had you spent any resources to really take a critical look at this effort that is needed to assist or to fulfill the idea of the Florida Statute. And I heard earlier where someone was talking about the mental problems that are inside of the school system, and someone was focusing on the idea of African-American children, well, they said black, but I'm focusing on non-immigrant blacks. And with us having the knowledge that we have a deficit model of education that we are rendering to all children, particularly African-American children, because we know that it's void of the knowledge that is necessary to follow the Florida Statute 1003.428. And I'm looking at, we always talk about equity inside of this county, but we haven't provided the African-American, the non-immigrant blacks with any kind of real equitable approach to the reality of what is needed inside of our community. And the blatant disrespect that we receive many times, because everybody already know most of the time, well, all of the time, when I come, I'm speaking specifically for the problems that are plaguing our community, and oftentimes we never hear anything specifically to address our problem. And we know that you're building a lot of new buildings, you're doing a lot of things with the penny sales tax and all of the other things, but I know that the most important thing that you could be thinking about is really building students and really building the educational system here in the state of Florida. You know that other counties are failing, and I always like to exalt you guys, because we've been having the Summer Institute now for about 25 years. And with us having the opportunity to have the lead in that kind of effort, I just always pray sincerely for you guys that you would really take the consideration of what is needed to make Florida Statute 1003.428 in the state of Florida a reality. And I can assure you, the research data and everything is already in. The best people to do this is our community, but we need the support and we need the respect that comes along, because you have the masses of our children inside of your care. And I want to leave you with, it is Black History Month. And with Black History Month, most of the time people don't understand what that means. It provides you with the opportunity to go back as far as you can with knowledge of the human family of the planet Earth. And I think when we do such, we'll be surprised at many of the things that we discover when we take such a quest. And I'll leave you. Happy Black History Month. Mr.
Mohammed, we all know who you are, but for the video record, would you just state your name?
Carl Mohammed.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Danielle Haber, Chairman Barbieri, Dr. Fenoy, and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, but I'd like to yield my 3 minutes back to the board.
To the board?
Respectfully, yes. I'd like to.
Okay, the superintendent says just say thank you, so I'm just saying thank you.
I did not want to be rude to you and just not show. Okay. So I yield my 3 minutes back.
Thank you very much. It's been a long day for us, so we appreciate that. Sure. Thank you very much. Tracy Woodall, Andrea Martin, Lenny Brooks. Yes.
Should I start?
Go ahead, sir.
I'm Lenny Brooks, and just like Mrs. Haber, I'm going to yield my time back to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Andrea Martin, and the same thing. We're going to yield our time. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. and hopefully I don't have to come back.
You're welcome. You're welcome here anytime, though. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take all their time.
That's not negotiable. That's not negotiable. Rafael Avila, Christopher Knight, and Latoya Verbal.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, board members, and members of the community. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. So I'm going to borrow a couple of minutes. Just kidding. My name is Rafael Avila. I'm one of your approved retirement or 403B vendors with Palm Beach County School Districts. And the purpose why I'm here today is because I'd like to report to you some information that I think it's important for you to know. We currently have 6,372 participants in the 403B plan right now. That equates to about 81,302,000 in assets right now in retirement accounts from our teachers and school employees. In 2017, we had 978 new participants, and in 2018, we had 1,137. That actually, in 2017, those new participants equate to 1.4 million. And in 2018, we almost doubled the numbers by 2.2 million in participation in the 403B plans. What that really means is that we're going back to our schools and servicing our teachers and school employees. So as you can see, there's a small gap, an increase from 2017 to 2018. But we almost doubled the number because we're going back and servicing and continue to help enhance the plans for our teachers and school employees. I'd like to also mention the fact that not a single teacher or school employee has ever lost a retirement penny in any of our accounts due to market conditions. As a trainer that I am, we train our agents to give back to our schools. They have to give back in several different ways out of their own pocket. So what they do is they contribute to the schools and participating in various programs. In the elementary schools, they donate bicycles. In the middle schools and high schools, they donate tablets for their reading programs or any programs that the schools may have. But they also donate not just monetarily, but they also donate their time as well. Some of them, they read in the elementary schools. In the middle and high schools, we teach financial literacy as well when we're permitted. Our company also has a program that's called the Life Changer, and I'm really proud to let you know that we had a winner in 2017. She was 5th place. She was flown to Bahamas, all expenses paid. She also won $5,000 that was split between the school and the winner, so it was 50-50. I also like to let you know and finish by just letting you know that the participation on the 403B plans nationwide is less than 23%. Our company alone today, we have over 28% participation, so we're very proud to let you know that. At the same time, none of this could have been accomplished if it's not because of the support of the board, your superintendent, and your principals. And for that, we're grateful, and we're very thankful and blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Knight?
Sir, how are you?
Good.
Should I start?
Yes.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the city hall to speak to the city manager, and which led me to the chief of police for Boynton Beach. And it was in regards to the bolo that I brought up, be on the lookout for, as it were. Now, speaking to the chief, he told me to go back to the organization that had reported this information on me, which led me back to Citrus Cove Elementary. And so I sent emails out to people, like I have been for the last 5 and 6 months maybe. 3 days ago, I get a call back from the superintendent, Mr. Jeff Pegg, and he tells me that he can't find any information to corroborate the story on these bolos. In other words, nobody knows where these came from, right? Which leads me, interestingly enough, to this picture right here. Now, I know you can't see it, so I'm going to describe it for you. This is a room inside of Citrus Cove Elementary, right? That young man down there is my son, Nicolas, and that on the wall that he's staring at is my bolo, right, full of false information. Inside of this room are 2 police officers, one from Delray and one from Boynton Beach, and a state worker, right? When you look at the body camera worn by the police officer, at the end, when they dismiss my son, they start laughing with each other, having a jolly old time about the fact that somebody has posted this bolo up on the wall for my son to see. Nobody sees the seriousness in this, evidently. At the end, which I found pretty interesting as well, the police officer, that is the Boynton Beach one, working inside of the school, is quoted as saying this in reference to me as he's taking off the bolo on the wall. He says this, in fact, I'm going to take it down. He's going to say, I want to see what's on the wall, and I'm going to, what are you talking about? So I have a school resource officer evidently on video saying that he's just going to lie if I were to ask him about this bolo hanging up on the wall. Now, I've been asking for months now where this information come from, right? I need to know who reported this, because we are going into different avenues now, particularly when I'm trying to protect my son, and that's the reason why there were people in here with him, right? And what is supposed to be an impartial investigation, I have my bolo up on the wall for my own flesh and blood to see, and for an investigator and two police officers to look at too. And when it's false, do you expect that investigation to be impartial? I don't think so. Now, you told me that I can't observe my son because the teacher is uncomfortable. I would have to ask, what in the world did I do to make her so uncomfortable? Because you can't just say uncomfortable and do as you please. That leads to prejudice and racism. So I need a reason for that, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Sheila Etienne, Terry McIntyre, Gary Mitten, Diane Hampton.
Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the school board. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me the time to brief you tonight. My name is Terry McIntyre. My mission for tonight is to share information with you that might benefit your students, your educators, and your community leaders. My goal is to have my passion for the following subject items create an enthusiasm in you to ask me questions at the appropriate time after the meeting or at another time at your convenience. Again, my name is Terry McIntyre, and I am a BGO, a blue and gold officer for the United States Naval Academy. Basically, in short, a BGO is a talent scout for the Naval Academy and an information source for the public. We are attached administratively to the Naval Academy's Office of Admissions. In your packets, you will find my Naval Academy ID card, which allows me to go on the premises, and my blue and gold officer's business card. You can keep that for your reference. The second sheet describes the centers of influence visits to the Naval Academy, and that's where you all come in, or I'd like you to come in, because I believe there might be some of our districts that in the past have had low application numbers, perhaps for a variety of reasons. I also believe that there are outstanding young women and men from those district areas who, once informed of the various benefits a four-year degree from the United States Naval Academy provides a person, they might be interested in learning more and perhaps apply. Now, for those students who, for whatever reason or reasons, are not ready to pursue a four-year university program, there is a military option for them where they can work on their next degree on a part-time basis, and that is joining the enlisted ranks. To that end, the Marine Corps has the Educator Workshop Program, which was created specifically for high school administrators, counselors, and educators so they could better inform students interested in the Marine Corps career path. The description of that program is the third page. Your fourth and final handout is a stapled 6-page description of the Naval Academy's summer STEM camp programs. This is a hot action item because applications close on 15 April. This program is for rising 9th, 10th, and 11th graders who spend a week at Annapolis. The program is designed to encourage rising 9th through 11th graders to pursue a course of study in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. For the STEM camp applicants that you endorse, I will also endorse gladly. The time priorities are as follows. The STEM camp, because that comes up first. The fall is the COI, the Centers of Influence. Next January in 2020 is the free trip to Paris. That's Paris with 2 R's, Paris Island. Located in historic low country of South Carolina near Beaufort, and then also close to Hilton. I'll help you any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre, and I noticed that you were a United States Marine, so thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you.
Dr. Licata, the superintendent, has asked that if you would meet with the gentleman and discuss this program. Did I take words out of your mouth? Okay. Mrs. Hampton?
Diane Hampton, North County. It's been many, many years, and I'm asking to somewhat turn back the clock because I've known people for a long time, but I haven't been here as well for a really long time. I've changed the content of my speech. I was initially going to present some data from old times, but as I've tried to comply with what you're supposed to do to present at the board meeting, I saw there's nothing defamatory allowed. So if I had disparaging data, will that be considered defamatory? If it's district-produced data, is that a problem? Will I be stopped? And now I don't think people are allowed to answer me because someone believes I'm about to sue them. So my question is, has the district been notified by anyone that is an attorney that I am about to file a lawsuit? I think it's been 10 months since I've tried to contact the people I was supposed to be able to speak. But I ask you that question not because I don't know the answer, but because I absolutely know that no one has contacted this district, because I am not about to sue and was not about to file a lawsuit. I will ask questions and pose dilemmas that will be met with silence. And I'm supposing that the people that I look in front of me are unable to, and I do not hold it against you. I just feel the same way as I felt before. Someone doesn't want me to speak, and here I am. First, it's been about 10 months, as I remember, since I contacted whom I needed to contact to follow the policy or of the board so that I could speak out as a mother, a teacher, and an advocate who was placed on a state advisory committee, asked to speak before the legislature, and whose work merited a meeting with a commissioner and chancellor. I was the gifted advocacy chairperson for this county. I was victorious in a formal complaint to the state as to the miseducation of my child. Took to board meetings to speak for years, met with administrators for years, had my desires met in mediation, filed a second formal complaint to the state, this time systemic, on behalf of over 7,500 students, and succeeded. During those years, I found some people who earned my respect. I also experienced events which I believe no one should encounter. Now that I'm older, I don't want to die before I hold people accountable for things that should never have happened.
Thank you, Mrs. Halfman. Mr. Midden, you have 3 minutes in dog years.
Gary Mitten. The district is a great place to work. You require high standards of everyone that works here, your principals, your teachers. And I was wondering, these principals and teachers have to meet the job description set forth for them. Very hard. So why, when you get to the maintenance department, you don't require them to meet the job descriptions? You build a job description around the person. The last director we had didn't meet the job description. He worked here for 5 years. He was an AC guy. The one you have now didn't meet the job description, so you made a new one. Is that holding on to the high quality of standards demanded by everyone in this district? I don't think so. In the next year or so, you're going to have a lot of hard decisions. You want to streamline maintenance. You want to move forward. You got to hire people. You can't do it with the current personnel you have because they're not people. They have non-communication skills. They yell and cuss at their employees. This is not the way you need to run your maintenance department. I mean, I think even the commonest person off the street would agree. You don't yell at people, scream, and belittle people to get the job done. You just can't do it. It doesn't work. It's not human nature. Those years are gone. This is, I hate to call it modern age because there's still things going wrong every day, but your management needs skills. These people you have managing your maintenance department now do not have the skills necessary to run that department. You can tell by the looks of your schools now. You don't have enough personnel. You don't have enough voice from your personnel to your management because they won't listen to you. They'll shut the door and talk to somebody else. So I was wondering, what in the world could go wrong? You have a plumber running the maintenance department. You have a lock and window technician as the general manager. What could go wrong? You name it, everything can go wrong. They don't have the skills required. They don't have the necessary people, communication, technical support, education when it comes to finance, making important monetary skills and decisions that affect you, that affect every high school, elementary, and middle school in the county. Because look at them, they're falling apart. You don't have the personnel. Where are you going to go anywhere with your maintenance department with this penny sales tax? Or are you going to keep dwindling? I know I've told you a million times. We're losing numbers, folks. The county is booming. Houses everywhere. What are we going to do when we fill those houses? So, you know where I stand. I mean, I've got nothing to gain. I'm not a contractor here. I'm not a consultant. I'm telling you the way the facts are. So, Mr. Barbieri, thank you for the extra 15 seconds.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Mid. Okay, so we're back on